Yo, so I was looking at one of those alpha motivation relationship sites like relationship was it I think it was Reels. Was it Reels? Yeah, I think it was Reels. I seen a dude, he was talking about like he was trying to explain like why men stay with like in a relationship even if it's not good or whatever. I don't know bro name. He's like a famous black nigga, of course. But he was saying that like the relationship, we own the relationship and all that. And I had like a few things because I definitely wrote it down. I definitely wrote down what I actually said. Firstly, I want to say I don't think any man will stay in a committed relationship where they just they're flat out unhappy. I don't think nobody willingly does this. I think people do this when there's an obligation that may not be in your favor. So you stay in hopes you can say you're such a good person and you tried, when in all reality you more than likely have done some foul shit. He also stated something like women are in relationships because of a particular thing, like happiness, like and then he goes on to say something like men are, just so to seek out, like men are more virtuous by nature, and all that whole red pill bullshit. We stay because it's ours. He was trying to say that the relationship is like the man's role in the relationship is like ownership and showing a woman that. In my personal opinion, I don't believe in that. I think the worst mistake a man can make is thinking he owns something that in the back of his mind knows can be broken or he can lose it. And that's most things. You fall out of love with most things. Men aren't a lot of men are depressed because they realize that they have to die without a lot of stuff, without all this stuff that they go crazy over and drool over. At the end of the day, we die without it. So a lot of the times they can't comprehend that. So one of the biggest particular things, another person, you will die by yourself. Even if you say you don't think about it, I think you are stupid because thinking the worst can give you. Even if you say you don't think about it, I think you're stupid because thinking the worst can give you contingencies. Hopefully regulate some of your feelings before something bad goes down. But don't just plan ahead as a man when something bad happens. Also plan when something good happens. I think the most unmanly shit is planning to these social constructs and not expecting toxic outcomes. People aren't always raised on tradition, so certain things will bother people not because they're inherently good or bad, but ignorant just like everybody else. Let's invest into more fluid thinking than just straightforward relations. In reality, a lot of people aren't emotionally intelligent, combative, maybe, but that doesn't show intelligence. So a lot of people, most of the time, when you do see people calling you weird or even think that you're not playing for the you may not be playing for a certain side. People don't realize like the boundaries. Certain men shouldn't have certain boundaries. Like you're falling into this social idea of where people think that a certain man shouldn't be doing certain things. Well, honestly, depending on how you grew up, you do things unknowingly that are feminine and or masculine. There are certain skills that you have not conquered as a man that is masculine. The same way that certain women haven't conquered certain things that make them feminine, even throughout their whole entire life, and they don't realize it. And so, and it's vice versa. Also, there's certain things that you may be better at than unfortunately, as a man, that you may be better at that's feminine. There's certain things that you may be better at that's masculine as a female. And that's not to say that this doesn't have nothing to do with your sexuality. I think this just has to do with the way you were taught or trained, depending on like your mother's and your father's attraction to each other, for what qualities they liked about each other. Certain things you have no measurement over. So most things everything you probably don't have no measure over, especially when dealing with somebody else. So I think a lot of this modern dating stuff is because we have this expectation and this monolith of each other, and it breaks us down. I don't really like talking about relationship shit, but I had to put that take out there because I think the most toxic thing is one of those alpha videos, black males telling other black males that don't know what's going on that they gotta control or own something. They don't have no control over that, bro. One of the biggest things you don't have control over is a woman. You can't trip out. Even if you go solo for a while, bro, you can't trip because there's still things that, we got to take care of by ourselves. Like I said, we die by ourselves. So a lot of this stuff, like, you know, yeah, no sad shit. That's all I had to say. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like if you didn't. It's alright.
We toasting up for my brother for all of them times he had slept with a knife. My only goal is to fuck on these bitches, boy, I'm not looking for wives. Play trying to bust on her.